We are leveling up from average to good to great because we have a very special guest joining us, the pride of Ketchum High School, also the owner of Hudson Valley Hammers in the USL League Two, who just happens to play for the U.S. men's national team, played in the World Cup in 2022, captained us there, just got his 50th cap, the 65th player in the history of U.S. soccer to ever make that happen on the men's side, Tyler Adams.
You guys, thank you.
Tyler, great to see you. How's everything going? We know that you're working with Scots and doing some. I love your T-shirt first and foremost, in Every Kid Sports to champion youth access to natural turf sports fields. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but you're fresh off of getting to the final with the U.S. against Mexico. Give me one takeaway that you really enjoyed during that process, both off the field and on the field.
Yeah, I mean, on the field is giving ourselves the opportunity to play in a final. I don't think anyone had us playing in the final in this tournament, and I think it was super important that you could see a level of focus from the complete group. Guys that weren't playing major minutes, guys that were playing major minutes, everyone just ready to play their role and have an impact at any level. So I think that, you know, for me, it was really a proud moment to see so many guys get their first opportunity, not really shy away from the moment, just embrace it and really step in and play their role.
Yeah, well, along those lines, Tyler, is there anyone that maybe you came into camp, didn't know much about, you come out of it going, boy, that player's a pretty decent player?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I tell everyone this, and for me, it was Paxten Aaronson. You know, I had, you know, played with Brendan so much and heard so much about the kid, and I'm like, you know, Brendan's Brendan. His brother can't be, you know, anywhere near the level of Brendan. But when you see them and you see Paxten, he couldn't be any more different from Brendan. He's, you know, a little bit more defensive, box to box, but he just plays his role so well. And you know, he did some things in training that I'm like, this kid is special. You could see he has the grit and the fight to just want to compete every single day, but he just has a high level of quality. So I think he's going to have a great career, and you know, he had a great season at Utrecht, and I'm sure he's going to go on and do bigger and better things.
Tyler, how has Mauricio Pochettino pushed you personally, both, you know, technically, tactically, mentally? How has he pushed you?
He's made me think about the game in a lot of different ways. You know, tactically, you know, I'm picking up positions that, you know, I wasn't as familiar with or wasn't used to doing, whether it's building with three and, you know, finding different spaces to take pressure off of my teammates. But a lot of the tactics and the ways that he plays are very familiar to the systems that I've played in, you know, winning the ball aggressively, trying to play forward as much as possible, all those little details. But he's also challenged me as a leader, I think, to make sure I'm doing the right things at all times, which, you know, I've always, you know, took a purpose in and know it's important to do. But, you know, anybody can be watching at any time is something that he's told me, and just making sure I'm doing all the right things for a lot of the young and inexperienced players.
All right, so Tyler, we had 8 games, right? We had the 2 friendlies and then 6 in the Gold Cup. Lots of time to be around the group. But now it feels like with only 5 international windows left before the World Cup next summer, that we're kind of maybe done with tinkering, and now we can start to really settle in on what our identity is going to be on both sides of the ball. How are you specifically approaching this maybe next window, Japan and South Korea, and then moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I tell everyone those are going to be some tough games. You know, we've had the opportunity to play Japan, obviously, before the last World Cup, and we got absolutely killed. So I'm hoping that the next window is not that. We go in with a little bit of a different mentality. But like you said, I think that this was a great opportunity to test the depth of the squad. A lot of guys getting opportunities that, you know, who knows if they would have gotten opportunities yet or this quickly, and they play their role. So there's going to be some decisions to make in every single position. You're going to bring people back into the squad, of course, that weren't in camp, that are important players, and help kind of lay the blueprint of the way that we want to play and how we're going to play. So it's going to be interesting. You know, I'm not the coach, thankfully, and I don't got to make those decisions. But yeah, it will be fun.
Yeah, Tyler, after the Nations League, you had a quote that kind of resonated with me, right? You said something, the way we played and the way we competed, 100%, it looks like we don't care. Was that a message that you had to bring up again in this camp, or was it kind of understood like that part needs to get better right now? And it seemed from the outside it got better. How was it from the inside?
from the inside, I thought it was really good. So obviously we had two really good friendlies in the beginning of camp, one against Turkey, which, to be fair, I thought we played really, really well in that game. A lot of good things to take away from that. And then I think against Switzerland, obviously you lose 4-0. You want to question everything, but I think it was important that the message stood clear that we were trusting the process that we were on and involved in. Not a lot of guys wavered. Every single person was focused on the task at hand. But the bottom line is, man, you're representing your country. You got to go out and battle at the bare minimum. You know, the quality is not always going to be there. Am I going to play my best every single game? I'm going to try to, but it's not necessarily always going to happen. And at the bare minimum, I need to be running around. I need to be battling. I need to be kicking, fouling people, just whatever it takes to try and win games. And you could see that mentality. It was a new experience for a lot of guys, but they embraced it. You know, you go to St. Louis to play Guatemala. You're not expecting to see 25,000 Guatemalans in the stands, but that's what it was. We embrace it, we fight, we compete, and we try to make it to the next round. And that's what we did in a lot of those situations. So I was very proud of the group on that front.
Well, you can see you are the heart and soul of this group. And I look at kind of the growth of this team throughout the Gold Cup. And for you personally, you know, coming into it, you started 6 of 8 of the last Premier League games going 90 minutes. Or sorry, 8 of 8, but 6 of 8, 90 minutes. You still went 61 and 76 minutes against Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. But in this tournament, you came off a couple of times early. And I thought to myself, all right, I know Tyler's good to go. He's fit. But you came out and it felt like the team dropped a little bit. How were you feeling? What were those emotions? You know, could you have gone? Were these planned substitutions?
No, so listen, they weren't necessarily planned substitutions, but I've already told you, and, you know, obviously with the relationship that we have, dude, this was the first time I've played so many minutes in a season in a long, long time. And to be quite frank with you, I was happy that I was able to even make it through the tournament. You know, my body was, you know, prepared, but not necessarily prepared, if you know what I mean. I think from a mental perspective, getting through the entire Premier League campaign for the first time was something I was really, really proud of. Was my body in a position to play at the highest level come Gold Cup? No chance, but I know I have to be there and continue to try and support these boys and give myself an opportunity as well to continue to try and cement myself in this national team and leave a legacy behind. So, you know, for me, it wasn't perfect every game. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect, but it was more about being there, competing at the highest level I knew I could be, and just supporting the group.
Why not ask for a break? Why not ask for a vacation, Tyler?
I know.
Well, what's interesting is that obviously you spent the whole summer here in the U.S. so far, and now Bournemouth has a U.S. tour set up coming at the end of the month and the beginning of August with games against Everton at MetLife, which should be extra special for you, Man United at Soldier Field, and then West Ham in Atlanta. How much rest are you going to get? You speak about, you know, making sure that you're being smart with your body. Andoni Iraola, who I am a big fan of as a manager, how much time or how much communication have you had with him about how you're going to manage your minutes going into the next Premier League season?
Yeah, I'm really thankful. They're giving me 3 weeks right now. So 3 weeks is more than I've had in a long time just to decompress and take some time off. And it's the perfect balance, man. You take, 10 days off, 10 days of training to lead up and get ready for the next season, and you should be good to go. But having preseason here is also nice. I'm not going to have to travel far to meet up with them, and I'm going to be able to play some games stateside with Bournemouth, which is a rare occasion for them and a rare occasion for me. So, all the stars aligned for that one.
So you got a little bit of work you're doing, right, in with your charity here. I know we'll get to that in a second. What's your sort of perfect scenario for the upcoming season, right, leading into the World Cup? What does it look like for Tyler Adams?
Yeah, listen, for me, it's about playing a lot of games, obviously at a high level. I think this year I took a step forward in obviously availability and just getting back to being myself. Now it's about, really showcasing my ability and what I'm best at every single game at a high level. So, and throughout this season, I tell everyone, for me, it was about getting through it healthy. I had some amazing games. I had some average games. Which wasn't the most important thing to me. It was just about consistency. And this year it's about, being consistently playing at a high level. So I think I'm going to have the opportunity to do that this season. Our team came off an amazing years. Obviously, we got rid of some players. They'll be replaced with new players. But our team, our coaching staff is top notch. And I think we're going to be able to have another good season.
Tyler, we talked about the group in Gold Cup and how they came along, and some of the guys who really impressed and some guys who maybe stocks dropped a little bit. But hopefully come the next friendlies, you're going to have everybody to play at your disposal. So how do you think Pochettino takes what he learned from this group in the summer and adds it to getting Timothy Weah back and Christian Pulisic back and Weston? What does the team look like? Anthony Robinson.
Yeah, the landscape can be completely different come September. But I think the cool part about having this Gold Cup is, a lot of these guys, playing in MLS, they're going to still be playing at that point. So they should be ready to go come that part of the year. And, for some other guys, it's going to be an off season and then not probably at full fitness yet. So you can mix and choose who you're going to bring. But there were some players that played really, really well, obviously, throughout this tournament. And like you said, I think their stocks went up a lot. But, it's going to be a different roster, I would assume. You don't know. But, again, coach's decision, not mine.
Is there one player that completely changes the way you play? Is there one player that you're missing and you go, man, we really feel a difference when this player's not here?
Oof. It's tough. I mean, listen,
on the spot.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to. There's so many.
Normally there's one guy that you go, man. It forces us to change a little bit the way we play.
How about like an Anthony Robinson type guy?
There's
like Serginho Dest or Anthony or
That's what I mean. There's so many players. Like you put Christian in our team, you change the way that you play. You put Anthony in your team, you want to attack down the left side. You put Serginho in the team, you want to attack. Like, do you know what I mean? So you put any of those players in the team, it completely changes the way that you play. I mean, Anthony is a clear one. The way that he just bombs up and down the left side. I mean, he's so good at what he does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Serginho, being able to break presses, the way that he dribbles out of pressure, and you could give him the ball in any situation. Christian, just in terms of the final third product, just being able to create chances out of nothing. You don't have players that can necessarily do that all the time. So everyone changes the way that we play. So
Tyler, I have a question about the responsibility that you may or may not feel with us hosting the World Cup. And because it feels like an enormous responsibility to like, hey, we got this team. We're going to be on our shoulders. It's a big opportunity to propel the game here in this country or keep the momentum going. Obviously, the women's team does an excellent job of it, but on the men's side, do you feel that? Or I assume you will feel it as it gets closer, but has it already started to seep into your psyche at all?
No, not at all, to be honest with you. I mean, listen, like, it's an amazing opportunity to grow the game in the U.S., get more eyeballs on it. The success that we have is directly correlated to obviously having a successful campaign on home soil. But whether it was on home soil or not, like, that shouldn't change the success on our minds. Like, we should want to be successful regardless of where the World Cup is. We just happen to have the luxury of now hopefully playing in front of home fans, in front of more friends and family, in front of more young kids that want to look up and say, I want to be the next this person. So for me, like, I want to win and go as far in this tournament as possible. It being in the U.S. doesn't change my mind on that or add more pressure. If anything, I think it's going to be hopefully a more comfortable environment. Like, you're familiar with the stadiums you're playing in. You're familiar with the hotels. You're not going to Qatar and asking people, do I need to walk around with security here, there, whatever. Like, it's like, the environment that you're in. Like, we should take that as a huge positive of, like, this should directly affect how well we play. Not like, oh, there's more fans and they're wondering what's happening. Like, is it more pressure? Like, embrace the pressure. Like, that's what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love the pressure. The higher the pressure, the more comfortable I got. I don't know. It's just because I grew up in chaos.
You crumbled, Tony.
Easy, Chuck. He's bringing up old stuff now, or don't listen to anything he has to say. Okay, so listen. I know that you've teamed up, Tyler, with Scott's, which is North America's leading lawn care products brand and a national nonprofit. Every kid sports a champion youth access to natural turf sports fields. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing with both of these organizations.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm really, really thankful. To be able to come back to my hometown and be able to give back with a partner that really sees the vision of what I want to do in my community. Not everyone has the luxury of doing that. So again, I'm super thankful. It's a park that I grew up playing at as a kid. A walk away from my grandma's house where I used to walk and come to summer camp every year. There's summer camp going on here right now, and it's like, I see myself in a lot of these kids. That's what I was. I didn't have a dream of, being a professional soccer player. It just happened that through sacrifices that my family made and a lot of people made for me, I had the luxury of reaching my dream. So if I can give back to my community in any way possible, I'm always trying to do that.
Hey Tyler, is that the Tyler Adams soccer pitch you're on, the one that got dedicated to you behind you?
It is named after me. I'm not going to go around telling people that, but it is named after me.
We just told them.
If that was Chuck, by the way, he'd be flexing all over us. Did you know there was a field? All the field?
Now
Okay, Tyler, last
it.
question before we let you go. We appreciate your time. This is tradition here for us, and call it what you want. Give us your best jersey swap that you've had in your career, or conversely, maybe somebody gave you the finger wag and said, "Actually, I'm not gonna change with you." You got one?
I'm not a jersey swap guy, but there is only one player that I have, and it's my prized possession, my favorite player. We played them before they went on to win the World Cup, N'Golo Kante.
That's a flex.
What a flex.
We'll accept it.
Wow,
we'll accept
flex.
I asked to change jerseys with him. We switched jerseys, and for me, I wasn't even on the map yet as anyone, and that was cool. That's my idol. That's who I try to emulate my game after. So he's my guy.
I love it.
That's a mic drop right there. That's a mic drop.
Well, Tyler, thank you again for your time. Continued success with the national team, of course, and with Bournemouth this summer in the upcoming Premier League season. We wish you the best of luck on all fronts. And, of course, all the great work you're doing with Scots and Every Kid Sports is very awesome. And enjoy all the things happening at Tyler Adams' field with Tyler
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you
Tyler
guys.
Adams,
Thank you.
everybody. Look at you getting to the end of the video. All right. Very proud of you. Now, if you want more average to good content, this is your channel. Go look at other videos, playlists. We have it all figured out. For more of the good stuff, then you got to make sure you hit like on this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss anything, and then turn on your notifications so you know when we're going live or if anything drops right when it comes out. We'd really appreciate it. See you next time.